Yeah, Sakshi, can I start now? Yeah, Rituja, can I start now?
Hello everyone, present here virtually. I am Rutuja here, and I welcome you all for today's session, which is titled as Financial Planning Lesson. Uh, and presenting this session, we have with us our today's expert, Dr. Gargi Pant Shukla. Dr. Gargi Pant Shukla.
Yeah, thank you, Rituja.
Dr. Gargi Pant Shukla is an associate professor in the Department of Finance from Doon Business School. She has done her PhD from Banasthali University in retirement planning of female faculty members. She has an experience of more than 13 years in teaching and research. She has published her several research papers in ABCD list of journals and conducted a number of seminars and workshops on financial planning. Her specialization includes financial inclusion, ISM, and MAC analysis. Ma'am, you can start now.
Okay. First of all, thank you for the kind welcome and all the participants, who are listening to me. So why we are talking about this topic, the most important thing is why we are thinking why we are talking about financial planning. If you see, when the 2007 and 9 inflation hit the economy very badly, it has not hit the Indian economy as such. It has hit to the Western or the US or the Britain economy. The reason is the kind of savings and investments we do. Okay, the and that is because we have something in our roots to think about saving before spending, right? And if you see, the COVID period also, then to the stock market was, slashing. People are talking about, you know, they have lost a lot of money into that. There was a 3-to-1, shocks in the market, cuts in the market, and the share market went very down, and the people were very tense, not only because of the pandemic, and one of the reason is because they were losing their money. So that means we have to understand how we should out a financial planning. It's not actually, and when we talk about with a kid, and if we talk with them, like when you will want to save money, they will say, okay, I'll save it, once I'll get 40s or 50s. But when we say about, when we talk about financial planning, you can see in this picture only. It gives you a full cycle from a birth of a child till you die. So that means I'm so sorry for the technical glitch. Okay, I'm again sharing my screen. So when we are talking about, financial planning, we said that this is something, when you were the child, your
Hello,
parents
ma'am.
have. Yes,
Hello,
I'm so sorry for the technical glitch. I'm again sharing my
ma'am.
screen.
Ma'am, your screen is not visible.
Yeah, I think now it's visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for the technical glitch. So when when you were the child, that I would say that these are the expenses which were borne by your parents. But as we grow up and we have the families, we have the kids, we have the responsibility. We have this responsibility is on our shoulders to manage those expenses. So this is something which will start from a birth of a child, and that planning will go till you die. That means till you are attain your age of 85 or 86 or 90. So when we are talking about planning is what? Planning is looking ahead. That means you are talking about the future. You are talking about, the future course of action. It can be that you want to sit for an competitive examinations, you are planning a vacation, or you are planning for the further studies, you're planning for marriage, anything which you are making for future will be a planning. And when we are talking about the financial planning, this means you're planning in process of meeting your life goals. That if you are saying that I'm planning to buy a house once I'll reach 30, so that means you are planning for future. Currently, you are planning that what is your goal which you wanted to achieve at the age of 40 or 45. So financial planning is whenever you are planning your expenses, whenever you are planning your finances or your future in the financial terms, that will be a financial planning. That financial planning can contain anything that can be related to the buying of house, buying of car, getting married, planning for your higher education, planning your tax, or planning for your retirement. So that's why when we talk about pyramid, the financial planning pyramid, so it will start with your wealth protection. That means, in the bottom of the pyramid, the first step will be that you should protect the wealth which you already have. The savings. Don't go for more, for the compounding. You should save what you currently have. You should save a fixed percentage of your income. So that would be the wealth protection. That is the basic need for financial planning. Then wealth creation. You try to build up the pyramid, right? You think to accumulate the wealth, how you can increase, accumulate more and more wealth from what you have protected, what you have saved. So and then the wealth distribution. That means the wealth you have created and accumulated over the period of time when you will be distributing that wealth to your children. That is the wealth distribution. To it, we also call it as an estate planning. So if we see it, wealth protection is basic investment, that's basic financial planning. And the wealth creation is that you are investing. Suppose Mr. X is earning rupees 20,000 per month. So, and he's trying to save, he's saving rupees 8,000 per month of it. So that 8,000 will fall under the category of wealth protection, right? And then every month he is saving 8,000 rupees, and those 8,000 rupees he is investing into a different avenues. That will be a wealth creation. And then, by investing those 8,000 per month into the different investment avenues, he have accumulated, say, 70 lakh rupees. And now he wants to distribute that income, that savings to his kids, to his nominees. He want to transfer it. That would be wealth distribution. That would be estate planning. So when we talk about the elements of financial planning, the first element is personal financial planning. So when we talk about personal financial planning, that means in this you have contains the shorter goals. What I wanted to achieve after 10 years, or how much amount of money I'll be needed if I'm going to buy a bike. That would be the basic personal financial planning. That when the goals which you have set for you for a shorter period of time. The next one is the tax planning. The amount, the savings which you are accumulating, which you are earning, you have to pay tax on it. So on that, you will be planning that how you can invest your money into the better way so that you can save more and more tax into it. Then the next one is the retirement planning. In that retirement planning, you are talking about your retirement. That if I'm 30 years old and I want to get retired at the age of 55, how much money I should accumulate so that I can spend my post-retirement life in a lap of luxury without being dependent on my kids. So that means I'm planning my post-retirement life. That's why we say it's better to start early. That means if you are starting at an early age of life, you will be compounding more and more money with it. So the power of compounding will be there. And then the next one is the estate plan, which we call the transference of your accumulated wealth to your children. That means to which child you want to transfer your money, what proportion of your money. If you have one house and the two kids, so you don't want a starboard after you. So you plan it accordingly. You transfer your whole wealth to your children. That's why it's very important to make a will. No matters how much wealth you have accumulated, no matters at what age you are, but it's very important. And the importance of state planning, the importance of making a will, I have found it, I have realized in the pandemic time period, at the time of the pandemic, when, when most of the people, many people have lost their, partners. People were dying in pandemic and they have not made any will. They don't know. There were people who have the small kids. So there is, they're not sure, the families, that, what will happen with the wealth which they have accumulated. So that's why making a will is very important. This is the thing which shivers me when I think about not making a will and being a mother of a 5-year-old child. How the future of that kid will be financially secure. So that's why state planning is a very important element which comes under the umbrella of financial planning. And the most important is the insurance planning. You should take the insurance. How much, value, some assured, you should assured in your insurance. What kind of insurance you should take? Whether you should go for a term plan or endowment plan, or the health insurance or the medical insurance, or it should be an, family floaters. I'm pretty sure most of you are getting daily calls from the different insurance companies. So what it is that, but you have to plan your insurance. You have to see that what is the requirement of your family if you were not with them. So when we talk about the insurance planning, it is mainly giving financial security to your family members, to your dependents, if in case anything happens to you. Because in case of insurance planning, there will be a contract between an insured and an insurer that they will be by securing your loss in case of contingencies. They are sharing your risk. So insurance planning is very important factor on everyone's life. So when we talk about the importance of financial planning, we have talked very much about financial planning. We have talked about that, what are the different elements which come under the financial planning. But this is the most important aspect. Like if in 2022, we are talking about financial planning, and if you see, if the trend from the last 10 or 15 years, we are talking about the financial inclusion, we are talking about more about savings, we are more talking about investments, we are talking about financial planning. And so what's the need? Why it is important? Like my grandparents, my parents, their parents, and their parents, they have lived about it, So why it is important? So the first importance is that financial planning helps you in setting up the goal. If I want to buy a house at the age of 40, so the financial planning will helping me in knowing that what will be the value of that, how much money I will be needed once I will reach 40. And I'd say that at the age of 40, I'll be needed 60 lakh rupees to buy a house. Then, with the help of proper financial planning, I should calculate, I should plan my investments accordingly. I should plan that how much amount of money I should save regularly, I should save monthly. Next one is the help in emergencies. That means in case of contingencies, case of emergencies, the financial planning will be helpful to maintain that fund. It will help you and your family members. It will be giving you the financial security. Like most of the people have lost their job at the time of pandemic, so if they have planned their finances well, so they might get some of the help from their financial planning. Next, helpful in tax planning. Now, as we have discussed that with the help of better financial planning, you can better plan your taxes, right? Because in average Indian, we are paying a lot of amount to the tax, and if we are planning our finances very well, we should know that we can save around 1.5 lakh rupees under the ATC, then we have ATCT, then we have donations. So if you are saving your money towards financial planning, obviously it is helping you in planning your taxes. Helpful in retirement planning. If you are saving your money, in which avenue you are saving it. Obviously, if you're saving towards the public provident fund, you are more thinking about your retirement plan, right? So the better financial planning, it gives you a security for your retirement. You are accumulating your wealth, and which will be very helpful for you at the time of retirement. Next is to beat the inflation. That is when you will be having, the proper financial planning. You will be investing your money where you are getting a higher return. Like if suppose the current, inflation rate which is going on is 6%, and the investment on which you have saved, you have not invested your money anywhere, and you have simply put it into the bank account, which is giving you a interest rate of around 3%. So that means you are getting the return which is lower than the inflation. You're not able to meet up the inflation rate. So the better, the best, financial planning, the proper financial planning will help you in meeting the financial, meeting the inflation. Next is it is helpful in maintaining the financial discipline, because when you are, making the proper financial planning, it is giving you a discipline. Every month or every year, you are saving, you are investing a fixed amount towards, your achievement of your goal. So it gives the discipline in everyone's life to save the money. Then it also helps you in assessing the future goals you have and in accumulating the wealth for your children. Next is the financial planning process. So when we are talking about a financial planning process, the process is divided into four main part. That is the meet, plan, implement, and revenue. So when we are talking about the plan, that means to make your goals, right? That what you wanted to achieve. If when I'll reach 30, I want to buy a car. When I'll reach 35, I want to buy a house. When I reach 40, I want to shift to a bigger house. Once I reach 45, there might be some other goals. I want to go on a Europe trip. When I'll reach 50, I want to get retired. So this is what? This is the goal setting. At what age you wanted to do what. And once you have set your goals, you have to collect the data. You have to collect the information. That is, that if you wanted to buy a car by age of 30, and what is the current value, right? So you have to collect that data for the preparation of your financial plan. And you have from that data, you have to analyze it on the basis of your income. Suppose if a person who is, at the age of 22, if he is earning 30,000 rupees per month, and that person says that at the age of 30, I want to buy a bungalow rupees 1 crore. That's not possible. You don't have much, your savings will not be so. You don't have that much cash or the liquidity. So your goals should be real. When we are talking about goal setting, your goal should be smart. That is, it should be very specific. I cannot say that I want to buy a car. I would say that once I'll reach 30, I want to buy a car worth rupees 10 lakh. This is a smart goal, where I have specified it is whether it is achievable to me or not, right? Whether it is measurable or not, whether it is realistic or not, it contains the time limit or not. So when you set a goal, you should plan a smart goal rather than saying, I'll buy a car. You should say, once I'll reach 30, I'll buy a car worth rupees 10 lakh. So once you have set up your goals, when you have set the goals, the next is to draft the plan. You will make a rough plan that my income is 30,000 rupees per month. My age is 25. I'm single. Whether I'm having any dependent or not. What is my risk appetite? So knowing your risk appetite is very important. Because when we talk about an investment behavior, there are three kinds of investors: the aggressive, moderate, and the conservative. So the aggressives, they have a very high risk appetite. They take the risk because they say higher the risk, higher the return. But the aggressive are the one who is, the conservative will be the one who will be saying that no, I don't want to, share market is very risky. I don't want to put my money over there. So you need to see that what is your risk appetite. And then on that basis, there will be a product suggestion to you. If you have a high risk appetite, so you should invest into the share market. If you have a low risk appetite, you should go with the bonds or the FDs or the RDs. So that is to the product suggestion and to make a financial plan. Once you have made a financial plan, you have to implement it. You have to execute. You should start saving towards that financial plan every month or every year. Once you have executed it, you have to take the proper follow-up. That whether you are investing per month or not, whether you are investing the fixed amount, if you have fixed for it or not, that will be the implementation of your, follow-up and implementation of your financial plan. And once you are following up, you have to monitor it and review it. Whether change in market conditions, the return which you are getting will also suffer. These returns are also changing. So whether, with the current market situations, you are making money on it or not, is it, is your money is growing, or, this is something, your money is, you are in more loss rather than the profits. So continuously, you should not, left, or you should not be sit patiently or silently after investing. You should continuously, it's a continuous process. You have to review it. And then if your money is not growing, again, you have to set the goals. So when we talk about the financial planning process, it's a continuous process which goes throughout a life period of a person, where it starts with setting up the different goals with the different life stages. On the basis of their goals, they will draft the plan and make a final plan and start, its execution, start investing into that plan. And once they have implemented that plan, they have to review it and take the respective measures to take the corrective actions. We have talked about a financial plan. What are the features of a good financial plan? So first one is that it should include your financial goals. Your financial plan should include your financial goals, what you wanted to achieve into your life. Your different financial goals with your age limit, with your age, life cycle. So at the age of 20 or 22, I might have a goal of buying a bike. So I would say that a good financial plan is one which gives you the goals according to your life cycle. At what age you wanted to do what? I want to save money for my child education after 15 years from now. It should be included in my financial goal. I want to, throw a grand party on his marriage, and that will be after 20 or 30 years. So it should also be included in it. I want to go on a holiday every year. This is also my financial goal. So every financial goal for which you are thinking, it should be included in your financial plan. It should include each and everything which you are planning, which is related to your finances. I would say from middle to a hill, everything should be included in a financial plan. And your financial plan should be very flexible. That is, it should be flexible that you can make a changes in your financial plan. You should add more investment revenues, or you can withdraw money from the investment revenues. So the financial plan which you are making for your future, it should be flexible enough so that you can change it according to the change in market conditions. Next is a good financial plan. It should include the emergency fund. Anyone can face some certain, contingencies or emergencies. So you should always make a financial plan which should contain the emergency fund of 6 to 8 months. So this fund is very much required in case of any emergency or the contingency held with. So you will, at that time, if anything happen, so you will not be shattered more because of the finances. Because financial loss is a very big loss. When you are not having any finances with you, you will not be able to meet up your expenses also. Next is the include the insurance cover. And including an insurance cover into the financial plan is not only for your security, it is mainly for the financial security of your dependents, for your children, for your wife, for your spouse. And if you are a main breadwinner, then this inclusion is very much important for you. I highly recommend this, to go for an insurance cover if you have not done one, because it gives a financial security to your family if you are not with them by any chance, because it will give them that, it will give a part of your savings. It is kind of a regular income which they will be getting even though you are not with them. They will have that sense of security. They will feel more secure, and they will be able to achieve their goals. They will be able to achieve their dreams even though you are not with. And the most important is the retirement plan. Planning for retirement is very important, though, if I, when I talk with a 20 years or 30 years of child and I say that, what is planning? What is financial planning? What is retirement planning? They say, they simply say it's for the, older ones. I'm very young. But it's always better to start early. So for a retirement planning, you should start saving for your retirement the day you have started your job, because then only you will be accumulating more wealth. The power of compounding will come only when you will have that bandage. You will give that, time to, to compound that money. You don't want to get dependent on your kids or anyone after your retirement. You wanted a independent, financial independent, luxurious life after retirement. You don't want to work after a certain period of time. So if you are thinking so, you should plan your retirement so that, you will have a peaceful life with managed finances and sitting with your grandkids and your kids, and enjoying your post-retirement life with your spouse. So that's why choosing a retirement plan is very important. So, before we move further, I just wanted to say that whenever you're planning or you are making a plan, you divide your plans into the 3 different baskets, and the basket 1, 2, and 3. So when I'm saying the basket 1, basket 2, and basket 3, it simply gives you a concept of that don't put all your eggs together. That means you have to diversify your wealth. So basket 1, you should contain all the wealth which is, related with the money which you will be needed for in a shorter period of time. The money which you will be needed, I would say, within a period of 1 to 2 years. So that would be a basket 1. And it can be a basket where there will be a more liquidity of, money, where your cash, your money is either readily available in form of cash, or you can convert very easily into the cash. Then the next one is the basket 2, the money which you will be needed for, in the period of, say, after 3 to 5 years or 3 to 6 years. In that, you can put the money which is mainly in the FDs, in the RDs, or your mutual funds, and which can be in combination of debt and equity. And then the third basket, which is a very important basket. In this basket, you should keep the money and forget it for at least 10 years, so that it will see the ups and downs of the market, and then it will grow with the time, and that will be the basket which will be needed after 10 to 15 years. So always divide your money into the 3 baskets and never put all your eggs into the same basket. You should diversify your wealth whenever you are making a financial plan. So, when we talk about a financial plan, it's not only a very new concept. This is something which, our ancestors, which is in our birds, which is in the mythology, which everyone has seen. So, if I say in the mythological part, there are the investment lessons which we can take from the Ramayana. So, the first lesson: everything that shines is not a gold. You remember the story from Ramayana when, Ravan, the king of Lanka, wanted to kidnap the wife of Ram. When Ram wanted to kidnap Mata Sita, so he requested his uncle Marichi to convert himself into a golden deer to lure the Sita. And it's a trap. So Ram chased the deer. Lakshman also went out with the deer, and and the Sita was all alone in the jungle, and it was all the trap. Ravan arrived as a saint, and Sita crossed the line, and Ravan kidnapped her. So what lesson, what financial lesson is in this? The lesson is that don't chase every avenue which look attractive, every IPO which looks attractive to you, every share which looks attractive to you, every direct stock, crypto, anything which is attracted, it's not a good investment. So everything that shine is not a gold. So the lesson is that don't chase anytime anything which look attractive. There are many investors in the today's world which lure the investors, and it is basically a hot tip like a cryptocurrencies. When we talk, most of the people invest their money into the cryptocurrencies. And when we talk about a crypto, it's basically a website, and any day it can be blocked, and we don't have any set regulations till now for these kinds of investment avenues. The covered bond. So, if they are making that you can, raise their money, you can increase their money, you can increase your investment with it. So it can be simply a trap. It's better, to not to get lured from those kind of investment avenues. So like Lakshman, you have to draw a Lakshman Rekha for yourself. Don't shy away from building an army. So now Ravan has took Mata Sita, he has kidnapped Mata Sita, and though the Ram, is a very great warrior, Lord Ram is a very great warrior, but he knew that he cannot win that, that I would say war alone. He needed an army. He wanted to build an army, and he realized that being a strong, having a strong army is very important, and this will only help him in chasing what he wanted. So what he did, with the help of Hanuman, he took the help of Sugriv and built his army of, I would say, that reach and monkeys, and then they have, with the help of that army, they have won that fight, and they have killed the Ravan. So the investment advice you are getting, that you also need an army, not only in rely on your invest savings or the fixed deposits. Don't worry about the fluctuations in the market. So an army which is well diversified, which is spread across the different avenues, is the mantra for successful investment too. If you have successfully diversified your fund, if you have made the army of your fund, which includes every kind of avenue, then you have made a fantastic plan for yourself and for your retirement. Next, take small steps with SIP to bring a huge Ramsid. So everyone also know this story, yeah, because it's in the mythology, and I think this is which we see, which we read, So when we talk about take a small steps, so when Hanumanji came from Sri Lanka and he were able to find Mata Sita, and he was pretty sure that Mata Sita is in the garden of Ravan, and he has kept her over there. So now they have a problem. They have to, the army which Lord Ram have made, they have to cross that sea, right? So, and that sea is very big to reach Lanka. And they wanted to, get free Mata Sita from Ravan. So what they have done now, they don't get any, solution for them. There is not any shortcut to go there. Only Hanumanji have the powers to fly. None other of the warrior, no other of the army members of the Lord Ram, they didn't have any powers to cross the sea by flying. But what they have done, they have, said for some days, they have requested, sea, the Lord of Sea, to give them the way. But when there were no solution, he could have taken the shortcut of throwing a Brahmastra and dry up the ocean. But it will kill a lot of, sea animals or the aquatic animals. So what they have done, they have, thought patiently, they have thought respectively of the nature, and then they have made a bridge with the rocks and the stones. So the lesson is that with a combination of little things, you can achieve an extraordinary goals. You can achieve your targets with the help of the tiny steps. So if you are investing rupees 10,000 rupees every month in different SIPs, so you can accumulate it around 50 lakh in 15 years. So that means if you are thinking patiently, you are taking a small step, because initially it will be like it will take 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, and then it will run into the market and you will accumulate your wealth in a more proper way. Yes, this is the most powerful picture, incidents of Ramayana. When Hanumanji picked the whole, hill, he has picked the whole hill. When Lakshman was seriously injured, and they got to know that only Sanjeevani Bhuti can heal the wound. And Hanumanji was not able to identify that what is Sanjeevani Bhuti. So what he did, he just picked the whole hill and then fly. So we are also not Hanuman. We don't know that which is the best stock to invest, which is the best share to invest. Sometimes we invest and get fails. So what we do when we talking about the wealth management, picking that one stock which gives you a bagger stock, which accumulate your wealth, which can build your wealth, is a very challenging task. So what you do, you invest in the index mutual fund. You to reduce the risk, you pick up the wrong stock. If you have picked up the wrong stock, then you rather than accumulating your wealth, you will be decreasing your wealth. So you should always invest into the indexed funds of all the companies. Like when you invest into the Nifty 50 companies, you are investing your money into the top 50 companies of the large companies that are leaders in the sector. So there will be certain stocks which are not performing, but there will be some which will be performing. So what you do, you put that money which are the index funds. And the very important lesson from Ramayana is that don't let your ego destroy your future. And when we talk about this incident of Ramayana, it's not only the financial planning when we talk about this. We also talk about this in in our daily routine also, that don't let your ego destroy your future. And the same principle of Ramayana, applies in the financial planning also. Because Ravan, when we talk about Ravan, he's the most, I would say, learned scholar who have lived, ever lived. He have an extraordinary past. He have possessed. He's a very weak player. He have possessed the skills. He have the possessed that skill to planetary alignment. But all his these talents were overshadowed by his ego, by his arrogance, because Ravan has thought that no one can kill me. I can have the 10 heads, and no one can kill me, no one can destroy me. And the day when he have started thinking, so that is the day one when his downfall was started. So we sometimes we all become very adamant like Ravan, where to hold of our some assets. Be it property, be it a land, be it a house, be it a wrong asset, be it an equity, be it a any kind of insurance policy. So we let our ego get into it with our intelligence. So which gives an adverse effect to our financial planning. So if we have made any mistake in made up financial planning, we should accept it and we should try to improvise in our financial plan. So these are the main 5 lessons which one should take from the Ramayana, that everything which shine is not a gold. So you should invest wisely. Before investing, you should read all the terms and conditions and inquire about the venue, the stock on which you are investing. Don't shy away from building an army. Making a diversified is very fun, is very important. You should invest your small amount of money into the different investment avenues. Take small steps with SIP to build a human Ram Setu. That means you should invest into the fund, start early, start investing every month regularly, so that, one day you will have a big corpus with you. If you can't pick a Sanjeevani, take an entire hill. At least if you're not expert of the market, then picking up rather than picking up a wrong stock, you pick a company, you pick up mutual fund to invest your money into it. Because when you are investing into a mutual fund, it will be a combination of different kind of companies, where some companies will be performing and some industries will not be performing, which will balance your risk. Don't let your ego destroy yourself. If you have made a wrong investment season, if you have made a wrong financial plan, don't let it be. You can change it, you can review it, and you can implement a plan. No? So that's all from my side. Any queries, anything if you wanted to have, Business Rozgar, I'm very thankful to you for giving me this opportunity. And they have given me our time. So I have made a small presentations. My email ID is gargipan87@gmail.com. If anyone want to, contact me related to the financial planning or the investment planning, I'm a research scholar. I'm a researcher on it. Thank you, Business Rozgar, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. You can Anyone can connect to me at gargipan87@gmail.com.
Thank you so much for this very informative and demonstrative session. We will ask our participant to put your question in comment box. We will try to provide the answer by Dr. Gargipan Shukla below the comments.
So if they have any query,
I think no one has any question, ma'am. Thank you so much, all the participants, for your active participation. Let me inform to all that this complete session will be available on our Business Rozgar YouTube channel. So if you want it, to watch it again or want to share it to somebody, please do visit the Business Rozgar YouTube channel. Thanks, and last but not the least, thank you, Dr. Gargipan Shukla, for taking out the time for session. With your permission, I would like to end today's session here. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot, Business Roaster. Thank you, Sakshi, Zoom. Thank you, Chiti. Thank you very much.